welcome here. Welcome to Quiet Time Coaching, episode 413. Today, God the gracious listener. Penny gave me a wonderful birthday present. She bought me tickets to something called the Fully Charged Live Show. I'll put the link in the show notes. It's an exhibition all about electric vehicles, sustainable living, alternative energy sources and things like that. It's something I'm interested in out of curiosity, but also because I believe that these issues about sustainable living are vital to our responsibility to steward the creation in the way God intended us to, but that's a topic for another day. A feature of the exhibition was a series of panel discussions focused on topics like low carbon food and how to create converts, how much better can batteries become, or how to drive and charge as efficiently as possible when you're driving an EV. And all the talks were excellent, except for that final one I just mentioned. And it's not because the topic wasn't interesting, far from it, nor that the people on the panel were not experts, they indeed were. It was because one person on the panel had an agenda, and they were going to get it across whether anybody liked it or not, or whether it even connected with the topic or not. This panelist, who shall remain nameless, twisted every question to fit with his agenda and berated two of his fellow panelists, demeaning them, insulting them, and basically behaving like a bully. And it was a great shame, not only because it spoiled the talk, but because it just left a nasty taste in my mouth. Now, don't get me wrong, overall the day was wonderful. I'd go again. In fact, I hope to next year, but this indisciplined bully really annoyed me. And there's a spiritual point here. You see, I wonder how often I come to God with my agenda, how often I'm not paying attention to what He's trying to communicate to me. What's really important? How does He feel when I stray from what's really significant? What is His reaction when I talk and don't listen? Psalm 103 verse 8. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. I need to believe that. You and I, if we're going to have a healthy relationship with God, need to believe that. He's compassionate, He's gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. In other words, He can handle it when you and I get off track. It's not in God's nature to treat us as we deserve. Indeed, it seems He delights in doing the opposite. His nature is merciful, loving, and gracious. Oh yes, He's capable of becoming angry. And indeed, it's right that He should when righteousness is compromised, but He's not impetuous. He's not hasty in His anger. He's slow. See, sometimes, if you're like me, you might worry that you're not on God's wavelength in your prayer times. Perhaps you feel guilty about the times you've prayed, you've spoken words, but you've not really listened. Now, the very fact that you're concerned about it is in itself, of course, a good sign. God understands your weakness. He delights to hear from you anyway. And bring God your agenda. Just do it lightly. Timothy Keller says in Counterfeit Gods, Abraham was not just exercising blind faith. He's talking there about the sacrifice of Isaac. He's not saying, this is crazy, this is murder, but I'm going to do it anyway. Instead, he was saying, I know God is both holy and gracious. I don't know how He is going to be both in this situation, but I know He will. So you see, when we're not at our best, when we're not really listening, it's okay. God understands. He will blend His holiness and His graciousness in a way that is right. You know, when I listened to that person on the panel, I felt my blood pressure rising and I wanted to go and have a stern word with him. In fact, although I didn't speak to him, I did speak to one of the other panelists and congratulated them on keeping their cool. They did seem grateful for my encouragement. And God is listening to all of our communication, healthy or not. He is a loving, spiritual parent who delights to hear from His children, even when they're not quite on point, shall we say. Trust that the next time you're with Him in a time of quiet. Let me know your thoughts. Until the next time, take care and God bless.